Welcome back to Mini Mayhem. I'm Vox, and right away, spoiler warning if you have not seen the most recent 2 episodes of Star, Butterfly Follies, and Escape from the Pie Folk. Watch those and then come back here. Alright, Star Season 4. It's off to a great start. I really enjoyed these most recent 2 episodes. But as I elaborated in my breakdown of the episode, check that out if you haven't yet, the second half of Butterfly Follies seemed to be dedicated to setting up various plot points for this final season. One of which has not left my mind since the second we heard that line of dialogue. When Star confronts Glossaryck over the realm of magic, trying to figure out exactly what it did to Moon and why Star can't track her down with magic, Glossaryck retorts, "What were you doing in the realm of magic in the first place?" proposing it as if that's where the problem originated. However, when Star explains she had to go there to find her mom, just like she had to go there to defeat Toffee, Glossaryck responds with, "Maybe that was a mistake too." Now, I have seen some people interpret this as, oh, Glossaryck was saying maybe finding Moon was a mistake too, not defeating Toffee, but he couldn't have been referring to finding Moon, as he already knew Star went to the realm of magic to find her. He was without a doubt referring to Toffee's defeat. That, for an unexplained reason, removing Toffee from the equation has messed up the quote-unquote bigger picture. That, from Glossaryck's perspective, things can no longer play out the way he wanted due to the death of Toffee. But how and why? Well, first things first, we need to retrace our steps. Figure out where exactly things went wrong in the grand scheme of things. Now, going back to seasons 1 through 2, Toffee's plan seems to go swimmingly. Get inside the wand, corrupt magic, manipulate Ludo, conquer Muni. However, the first real deviation came from the episode Book Be Gone, the very moment Ludo burned the Book of Spells. As Glossaryck is having his farewell exchange with Toffee, Glossaryck assuming this was all part of Toffee's plan, Toffee remarks, "I didn't want this. This was all Ludo." However, Toffee did see this as an advantage. He may not have wanted Glossaryck out of the picture, but now instead of Ludo naturally wanting to conquer the kingdom, Toffee can take a straightforward approach, doing a little bit more manipulation, getting Ludo to that next checkpoint. However, Glossaryck did say he knew that was coming. And yeah, maybe Glossaryck did foresee Toffee destroying him at one point or another, but perhaps it wasn't supposed to occur at that point in time. The next deviation comes from Toffee's self-titled episode, when Star once again used the whispering spell to enter her wand and by extension, the realm of magic, in an attempt to confront and defeat Toffee. We all know how it went. Toffee more or less used Star as a hostage to get his finger back, though I imagine if Star never used a whispering spell, he planned to negotiate regardless with Moon, and instead of releasing Star, Toffee destroyed his cleaved portion of the wand. From there, Star and Glossaryck essentially winded up in Magic Purgatory, where Glossaryck suggested, hey, maybe we should just lay low, get used to our new situation, and accept that it might be over for us. However, Star saw this as Glossaryck testing her. Yet, considering Glossaryck's demeanor, coupled with everything we know now, I think he was honestly telling the truth. That Star finding a little ounce of magic and creating the firstborn was not a part of Glossaryck's plan. Glossaryck may have known it was in there, but he wanted to keep Star away from returning to the real world and restoring magic, as he may have known it would lead to Toffee's defeat. From there, what does Glossaryck do? He leads Star on a path to resurrect him, by haunting her until she throws the last piece of the book she has to revive his physical form. Once he's back, all he does is warn Star about Globgor. Globgor, Globgor, Globgor. As Glossaryck likely knew, if Toffee was killed, Eclipsa would be freed. And if Eclipsa's freed, Globgor is not too far behind. Alright, so great. Killing Toffee was a mistake because it freed Globgor, right? Because Globgor is evil, he's the final villain, right? Not on the money yet. We've elaborated about this before on the channel, but the handy dandy book of spells revealed that Globgor ain't that bad of a dude. Yeah, sure, he's referred to the Prince of Darkness, but Eclipsa got to know him intimately throughout their childhood up to the point where she ran off with him. And going off of Eclipsa's entries, which we really have no reason to doubt because at the time, she was just writing for herself. Globgor is apparently a huge sweetie, and he told Eclipsa in the past that he wants peace and unity between humans and monsters just as much as she does. However, he knows it won't be that that easy for Mewmans. They won't just accept monsters with open arms. And that sooner or later, Eclipsa would have to choose. And for a time, she did. Alright, so now things are a little bit confusing. Globgore's good, he wants unity and peace, Eclipsa's queen now, so if he gets unthawed, sees his wife and his baby, it should all just be smooth sailing from there? And that's where the problem lies. Globgore may want peace, he may want unity, but he foretold that the Mewmans would resist this change. And look at him, he was right. We saw throughout season 3, a bulk of Mewmans were just so intolerant of monsters. We saw in Monster Bash that even when they began to get along, as soon as things went awry, Mewmans turned on the monsters. Even now, with the Royal Guard being comprised of monsters and Mewmans, we see that they still have to adjust, that they're not used to monsters, and that the General Kingdom of Muni, they hate it. They're really unhappy with Eclipsa's rule. And as a monster who ran into Star, Marco, and Ripper said in the beginning of Butterfly Follies, the Mewmans just have to deal with us monsters. It's not true unity and not true peace. There's nothing that Eclipsa and Globgore can do to change such a thing, and that's why killing Toffee was a mistake. Now, we don't know much about this other figure, but the Book of Spells introduced a brand new character, Seth of Septarsis, who, as you could probably figure out, is the same species as Toffee and is likely Toffee's master. He's the one who ordered Toffee and his monsters to kill Comet Butterfly, Moon's mother, and Globgore had a problem with Seth, saying that if anyone was going to be a problem, it was him, that Seth took things too far. From Seth's standpoint, much like how Solaria felt towards monsters, Seth thinks that Mewmans need to be eradicated entirely. And it seems to be clear that Toffee shares a lot of the ideals that Seth possesses. Now, the book never really elaborates what happens with Seth. He's mentioned a bit after Eclipse's chapter, but much like Toffee, his death has never seemed to be an objective pursued by the rest of the queens. When we go back to Toffee's subtitle episode, there's two things to know. One, as soon as he got his finger and body back, he skedaddled on out of there. He seemed to be going someplace else, either the Monster Temple, as he was using that as a hideout, or he was going to go find Seth. Update him that, yeah, magic's destroyed, so the Mewmans are weakened, but we can't exactly conquer the kingdom yet. Of course, magic was restored, and Toffee was seemingly assassinated shortly thereafter. However, the second key thing in this episode, in his final moments on screen, he remarked, only he knows how this all turns out. Which at the time, sure, you could have interpreted that as, oh, he's just being salty, trying to get in some Cypher Lad's words so he can seem menacing and on top of everything, but I think he really was. Now, Toffee propelling himself as a leader, as someone who makes the plans, is kind of concerning in relation to Seth. Is Seth too old in his age? Did something happen to him? Or does Seth just entrust Toffee that much to the point where Toffee feels he can make any plan and he'll succeed? He'll please Seth. Or is Toffee Seth? Toffee as a name could be an alias. After all, Moon's reaction towards hearing his name for the first time could have been a hint.
Toffee? How is that any better?
Yeah, considering we have a design for Seth, I don't think that's the case. Now, there's actually two important things about these characters to keep in mind. With Toffee, Darren F.C. elaborated in the past that he's a Magneto-type character. He's not wrong, but he's going about things the wrong way. So I'm thinking he's not wrong about the disadvantages monsters are put in, he's not wrong about how powerful magic is, how cruel the Butterfly family was in its past, but trying to commit mass genocide and his manipulation of other monsters is where he's wrong. As for Seth, I actually found this out a little bit back by researching names for characters in my own story, but apparently, the name Seth shared history with an Egyptian god, the god of chaos. All of this being said, why was killing Toffee a mistake? Why does Star need Toffee? Essentially, Toffee, and by a greater extension, Seth of Septarsis, is needed to meet a conclusion where monsters and Mewmans truly work in unity. Without Toffee, there won't be a terrifying force that'll wreak havoc on the Mewmans. The Mewmans more or less need to be pushed in a proper war. A conflict where the Mewmans actually have to work with other monsters. Monsters who aren't as ruthless and beyond saving like Toffee, like Seth. Mewmans need to be saved from monsters monsters by other monsters. That's the role Toffee plays in all this. That's why Star needs him. However, there's a wrench in that plan even if Toffee comes back, because let's face it, he's not dead. But hold that thought. Ludo. Toffee made a grave mistake by choosing Ludo as his pawn. As we've seen from trailers, Ludo seems to be back in full force this season, likely reprising his role as a villain and recruiting his old army. I think Ludo wants to prove himself as a force to be reckoned with, not needing Toffee. Yet, if Toffee returns, he won't just have to worry about Star, Eclipsa, and Globgor, he'll have to worry about Ludo as well. I definitely want to talk about Ludo very soon. However, let's close this out with Toffee's return. Alright, how is he going to come back into the big picture, orchestrate this huge conflict that'll cause Monsters and Mewmans to work together, and well, just be fabulous while doing it so we can hear that delicious voice again? 1, he's already Sepatarian, he can regenerate, his eyeball was left over, but if you want to argue, alright, nope, regenerating won't save him this time. The Book of Spells has introduced a resurrection spell, and we saw that townspeople can raise the dead. There's plenty of ways to bring back Toffee, it's just a matter of, well, bring him back. Glossaryck told Toffee before he doesn't have a side. Glossaryck definitely wants unity. That's why I don't think he would say anything like that to Star if he didn't know that Toffee is needed to bring about that unity, that equality, one that's not forced, but natural and earned. So just keep an eye out these next few episodes, as I believe the narrative will build up to our favorite business lizard making a triumphant return. But what do you guys think? Do you see Toffee coming back as a possibility? Or do you think he's gone for good? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts directly to us at Roundtable Vids, and for my own thoughts, you can find me at Fox. We're also on Instagram. Help the Roundtable grow by either becoming a member of this channel or supporting us over at Patreon. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please throw it a like and subscribe to the Roundtable so you never miss any great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. Fox out.